external manifestations that those things, because you believe in that, you've accomplished those things? And what are those things?
Yeah, persistently pursuing and keeping your focus on the world of science. The world of science is a very abstract and at times it could be lonely and difficult to maintain your focus. So maintaining your focus and staying the course is a very it requires a tremendous amount of conviction. So the success in my life is that my beliefs have helped me to maintain focus, stay the course, and pursue this highly abstract and very complex profession of science, and learn these very difficult laws of science and physics, and apply them to an area that is that's very new. Actually, application of physics in medicine is something very new, and it's making huge discoveries. Like I said, this magnet, this most powerful magnet in the world that we built some 20 years ago, that was a great discovery, a great achievement, and it really was a trailblazer. It started a movement in neuroimaging and in medicine that now is bearing fruit. A lot of very prestigious laboratories and universities around the world are now pursuing that, building scanners and laboratories very similar to ours. And seeing that my colleagues around the world are replicating what we did is extremely gratifying, and it to me is an indication of success of the path that we initiated and stepped on some 20 years ago.
What are the things that you appreciate, like, or take pleasure in, observing or studying?
Both. Observation is actually what can provide you incentive for exploration and studying. If you look around you, there's so many sources of fascination in nature. A couple of weeks ago we had the phenomenon of red moon. This is a phenomenon of lunar eclipse, when the light from the sun to the moon is blocked by the earth. And then there is this very specific point, very specific time that the moon is right behind the sun, in the shadow of the shadow of the earth. But it's in a very special location where the light bending around the earth has dispersed to its spectrum of rainbow colors, and the moon is going right through the red section of the spectrum of the bent and the broken light of the sun, as a result of the bending through the atmosphere of the earth. And that phenomenon, just knowing that phenomenon, it's so amazing. So this is a simple observation that so many people could just go unnoticed. I actually stayed up. I was looking at the watch. I told my son. He looked at it. He took a picture of it, and it turned out that during that time, because the sky is dark as a result of eclipse, the moon is not really lighting up the sky is dark, you can actually see the Milky Way galaxy in the background. So these observations, and your fascination with these observations, and your fascinations with the questions beyond the secrets of these observations, is what can provide you fuel to seek the knowledge and the complex tools that you need to understand these secrets. So both observation and study, they go hand in hand in keeping you interested and engaged in solving problems of nature.
Could you explain, like, your life? How did you get to be where you are today? As in, like, you started in Iran and then you came here. Could you explain that arc?
Yes. Like I said, I give a lot of credit to the early teachings and indoctrinations of my father. He was fascinated by science and knowledge and what the role it plays in human life. And he encoded that knowledge. He implanted that love for knowledge and the seeking of knowledge into our heart, into the hearts of myself and my brothers. And I believe that played an important role, although I lost my father very early in life when I was 15. But he did a fantastic job in really institutionalizing the love for science and love for knowledge, and a desire to spread everything that I gain in that in that endeavor of learning about our surroundings to others, to the rest of society and the community, my community and the human community at large. That played an important role in my early life, and then I pursued that by, I left Iran very early. I went to England, and then I came to the United States. I followed my education in physics. I did all these academic requirements to earn my PhD in physics, but at the same time that I was going through all these different stages of education and different stages of life, I was making that observation to which you alluded earlier in one of your questions. Observation of, what is the most important question close to my heart, close to, to my abilities to be able to make a difference. And then, so in that second stage of my life, through my education and my higher education, I pursued the inspirations and aspirations of the first 2 decades of my life, and I gained certain tools and certain expertise. And then by then, I was mature enough to know exactly what area of science I wanted to apply it to. So when I became interested in the secrets of brain, I realized that what physics could do for brain by making our instruments, the devices that can look into the brain, more powerful. And then I became part of the team that eventually built that powerful machine that could look into the brain at a much better scale and much higher resolution. So that was the second and the third stage of my career. In the third stage, I actually learned everything that I gained from in the first and the second stage, and I applied it to a specific project, and I've been focused on that project for the last 25 years. And in Colombia, in the last 12 years, I've been using that along with the knowledge that I have gained since I received my PhD about the brain and about what's worthy in the brain to apply your time and your resources to solve maybe a specific and a narrow problem about the causes and the sources of psychiatric disorders.
And so for this next, is there another question on this? Oh no. I'm gonna ask you a few extra questions right now, and I'm gonna ask them, and then Leo's gonna keep eye contact with you, so you can look at Leo, and he could even elaborate on that.
Okay.
So you weren't born in America. You were born in Iran.
Yes.
And you came here. So what's your perspective on America? What are your thoughts about America?
Yeah, it's very important. The question you just raised is very important. I talked about the 3 different stages of my life: the early life that I lived with my father, and the second stage when I came to America, and I call it the educational stage, and the third stage, which is the professional stage. America played a huge role in my life. I told you that I went to England first, and then I came to the United States. In the United States, I found, I'm sorry, I found,
All this can be cut out.
I found a society that is so open and so hospitable and so conducive to the development of human capability. And I basically had no problem in adopting America as my new homeland and my new home. And I quickly, of course I have to tell you that, the Iran that I grew up with, America was the greatest friend. Iran was one of the greatest friends of America in that part of the world. And I considered America as the land of opportunities, land of ideals. I always admired the achievements of America as a society, the democracy, and many, many other things, from Hollywood productions to democracy to politics to the spirit of American people and the opportunities that America provides for foreigners and for newcomers and immigrants. All of these was source of fascination, and they contributed to the person I am and to the perspective I have about life in general. And I feel that for whatever America has given me, I owe returning my debt of gratitude to America by producing back something that at least can amount to solving one of the major problems of humanity, whether it's a medical problem, physics problem, economic problem, or a political problem.